let's move on to the New England Patriots. Now, this is where the spice hits. This is where the real spice hits. The New England Patriots schedule looks like this. They have the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football in Week 7. And then it gets interesting for primetime games. And I wanted to go to you, AJ, on this. They have a Sunday night matchup against the Vikings, and then a Thursday night matchup against the Bills, and then a Monday night matchup against Arizona, and a Sunday night matchup against Vegas. What does the stretch of primetime games mean for the New England? Like, what does it mean for a team to have 4 straight primetime games, Sunday to Thursday to Monday to Sunday night again? Like, what does it mean for a team to have this many primetime games in a row?
That they're playing a lot of teams that we're high on. That's it. Okay. You asked me that 4 years ago when Tom Brady was still there, it would mean that it's the Patriots regime. But let's be honest, this is a team that is going to not look very good this year. But look at who those games are against. Buffalo, who's a high-profile team. Arizona, who plays really good offense and has weapons on the field. Las Vegas, a team a lot of people are high on with Josh McDaniels going over there. You can make that storyline a reason it's on prime time. Josh McDaniels versus Bill Belichick. They have Devontae Adams now. That defense looks a lot better. In most years, I would have said it's because it's the Patriots and they deserve it. But in this situation, they are playing teams that deserve primetime games, and it lined up on their schedule for them the correct way. I'm not high on the Patriots team this year. And everyone said we had a reason to not be high on the Patriots last season, and I saw a little bit more, but I think they lost pieces that are going to help them. I don't think their defense is anywhere near as stout as it was going to be. And it was really hard for me to give them the record I did of 6-11 because of the fact that Bill Belichick's there. But Bill Belichick, the GM, did not do Bill Belichick, the coach, a lot of favors this upcoming season.
We are going to get so much hate from Patriots fans. Like, we have to be. This is what we talked about the other day.
I'll give them love.
No, this is what we talked about the other night, though. Before we continue on with the Patriots talk, you have to be honest with yourselves. Just be honest with yourselves, okay? The Patriots did not do anything really in this offseason to push and move the needle forward. Like, nothing at all. What do they do?
Brought in Devontae Parker.
7 running backs.
Okay, they brought in Devontae Parker. Okay, that moves the needle?
I think it gives Mac Jones another weapon.
Okay, does that move? Answer my question. Answer my question.
I think it moves the needle to where it helps your offense out. I mean, Aguilar's coming back. There's more people in another year with them. I mean, I think Jonnu Smith was atrocious last year. You get him going a little bit, there you go. I think their offense is a little bit better this year than last year.
Because of what?
Devontae Parker.
That makes that offense better?
I think it does.
Devontae Parker, 515 yards last season, 793 yards the year before. He did have 1,200 the year in 2019. That was a great season for him. Then he got hurt in the end and lost me on fantasy playoffs, but that's another thing. But then the year before that, 309 yards. Now, I'm not saying Devontae Parker's not a talent, but it's not like he's going somewhere that's all of a sudden going to make his talent blossom. Mac Jones, I still believe is a good quarterback. I think Mac Jones will have a good year. I don't think the Patriots will. Nelson Aguilar, we've been trying to make him something since he was a Philadelphia Eagle. Another player who's had talent has not translated on the field. Their best talent is Damian Harris and possibly Ramondre Stevens. They got two good tight ends last season. Didn't really know how to use them except for Hunter Henry catching a touchdown every so often in the back half of the season. They've got a lot of issues to work out, and their defense, I do not think, has the depth or the talent any longer to carry them along with a putrid offense.
That's fair, but I don't think their offense is putrid. I don't. I seriously don't. I think you got Josh McDaniels out of the way. I think that helps their offense.
Out of the way? Out of the way?
Oh, here, well, let me ask you this. Who did they move him for? Who did they think was so good to have his position? Don't look it up. I'll help you. It's vacant. They have nobody calling their plays right now. They don't even have an offensive coordinator.
It's Joe Judge.
Oh, not yet. Joe Judge. He's just working with the quarterback.
They're splitting. As of right now, from the last thing I've seen is Bill Belichick and Joe Judge are doing it together. They're going to be calling the offensive plays together. Now, where's your...
It's a recipe for disaster.
I'm confused, Dylan. I'm really confused.
No, I seriously believe in the Patriots. Now, this was not the take I wanted to give. I wanted to give a take on the defensive side of the ball, but you guys got me going on the offense.
You got to defend yourself here.
do it all.
I seriously think the offense. Okay, the Patriots are going to be a little bit better than most people think this year. And I'll say this: I'm not a Patriots fan. You know me, but I look at them, right? Who cares if they don't have an offensive coordinator? I think that they have enough pieces on their offense that makes them a little bit better this year. I think Mac Jones can take a step. I think year 2 in the league's good for him. Bill Belichick's a heck of a football coach, right? He's going to help you get to that next level. It doesn't matter. I think that he's still going to help you out, even if he's a defensive-minded coach. I still think that voice is going to help him carry what he can bring to that offense. And on the defensive side, I want to get to this take. I looked up before the game, research, right? Big-time research guy here today. I looked up, and I saw that the offensive pass blocking that they're going against this year is one of the worst schedules in the league when it comes against that. I trust Matt Judon in year 2. I trust Josh Uche. Everyone's saying how big of a role he's going to have this year. Bill Belichick just praising him, excited for what he could bring to that team. You still have Barmore in the middle. I like the Patriots defense this year. I know the secondary isn't as great as it was when you had Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson there. I'm serious. I like the Patriots defense. I think that pass rush can get home this year. But yeah, I think you guys are a little bit downplaying them, thinking that every one of their moves is strange, but no pun intended. But I mean, but I still think you got to take a chance on Belichick because he's a hell of a football coach.
You have to.
Right.
Go ahead.
If there's one coach that you can be like, sometimes the coach doesn't have the talent on the field, so it doesn't matter how good they are. Belichick's one of them. And to me, he gives them a few more wins. But also to me, that's why they got to 6 wins, in my opinion. Like, I think it is really difficult to look at this squad and then look at the moves that they decided to do with this squad in the draft, in the offseason. We'll see what happens post June 1st. I doubt much. I just don't think they've done enough. You talk about weapons. I'll do this real quick. Jacoby Myers was their leading receiver with 83 receptions, 866 yards. Had his first touchdown of his career last season. You brought up Nelson Aguilar, 64 targets, 37 receptions, didn't even eclipse 500 yards. Hunter Henry probably had the most touchdowns with 9, and that's because he was a red zone threat as a tight end. I don't know that with Mac Jones and no real offensive coach and a Joe Judge who is still reeling from how bad New York looked from him, that you are going to be able to take a big enough step from Mac Jones with these weapons that all of a sudden, they're going to win 10, 11 games? Is that where you have them at?
No, I got them at 7 wins. I'm saying that I think they're going to be a good team.
At 7 wins?
That's what
yeah.
Isn't that what they –
Everyone's trashing the Patriots, but I'm serious. Like, I think they're going to be better than most people think. Now, this right here, they're not competing with Buffalo. That's never my intention here with this take. All I'm saying is the Patriots are going to steal some more wins than you think because of their pass rush, and I think Bill Belichick's a great coach. Their offense got better too.
I don't think that's the case, though. And you look at last season and their schedule, they have I'm going to list their wins for you. The Jets, not a playoff team. The Texans, not a playoff team. The Jets, again, not a playoff team. They beat the Chargers. It's a good win. The Panthers, not a playoff team. The Browns, not a playoff team. Atlanta, not a playoff team. Tennessee, okay. And Buffalo, okay. And Jacksonville. This team this team got by last season from playing, I don't want to say a cupcake schedule, but a favorable schedule. That doesn't happen this year. You look at their schedule this year, and it's funny you say, Dylan, you have them at 7 wins, and they're going to be good. They can steal some wins. This year, they're not doing much of anything, in my opinion. When you look at this guy, Baltimore, Green Bay, Cleveland, with maybe Deshaun Watson, we'll see. But Indianapolis, Minnesota, Buffalo, Arizona, like this schedule does not favor the New England Patriots, whether you think they're going to do good or not. Our standings look like this. Aaron has them at 7-10. AJ, you have them at 6-11. Dylan and myself also have them at 7-10. This is going to be a season where we see a major step back for the New England Patriots, in my opinion, because we're going to start seeing that what their strategy is not going to work. None of that, I'm still very confused at how you think this offense is the way you think they are, because I don't think Devontae Parker brings major change to this offense. And what they had last year, but what, like that's like okay, you have a 3,000 piece puzzle. You bring in one piece to complete a 3,000 piece puzzle. Really doesn't do much. Like you don't have the rest of the 3,000 pieces.
Well, Parker's about a 500 piece.
He's probably one piece in a 500 piece.
No,
like yeah,
500. He's 500 pieces in a 3,000 piece puzzle because he makes that much of an impact on your team.
Can we do what we do and have Dylan tell us his 7 wins?
Well, you have.
I can say we have 5 losses.
I guess we can, here. But even you saying they have 7 wins and then saying they're going to have a good season, like they're going to be better than what most people think, like that doesn't really add up. Like 7 wins is not good. Like this, especially for the Patriots way. And I'm sure tons of Patriots fans are watching this right now on YouTube and leaving us nasty comments in the thread. But like 7 wins is not the Patriots way. That is not the Patriots standard. That is not the Bill Belichick way. So Dylan, where are your 7 wins?
Well, he doesn't win in Miami. That's 1 loss. I got them beating Pittsburgh. That's their first win. I got them beating Detroit. There's their second win. I think they can beat Chicago. There's 3. The Jets 4. Indianapolis, I don't think they can win. I got them beating Minnesota on a Sunday night. That's primetime Kirk Cousins. He'll fall. There's 5. I look at Vegas. I see that against Josh McDaniels. Belichick will be fired up playing his former assistant coach. There's 6. And I think they take either one of those divisional games at the end or they beat Cincinnati. There's my 7.
You lost me. You lost me when you said, I think they can beat Chicago. I stopped listening. If you only think they can beat Chicago, they're not a good team, bro. I'll tell you this. I'll give you the Las Vegas on your thought process that you mentioned and the way Belichick and his proteges go toe-to-toe in the first game. But for me, I have them beating Minnesota in that primetime game. And this may not be a realistic, but the way I feel right now, I have them losing every other game to close the season out. Against Buffalo, against Arizona, against Vegas, against Cincinnati, against Miami, because I have them winning it in week 1, and then against Buffalo in the end. And I get it. It's a division game, but I think Buffalo is going to be on a whole nother planet this season. And 2, I also think the Patriots are going to be on a whole nother planet.
I want to bring up one point. I think division games are different when it's early in a year and late in the year. Like if you play each other, like say it's like mid-October, then you play them again early November, late November. That's different as opposed to week 1 and week 17. Those are 2 different football teams, Absolutely. Injuries, whatever it is. I mean, that's where I think you could take 2 of those division games because they're spread out so far. And I mean, it's one that you could definitely look at. It's a different point in the season as opposed to playing close divisional games back to back, if not separated by 1 week.
I mean, that's my same thought process on how they lose 2 to Buffalo because it's so close that they really play each other again. It's not too much of a different team. The only way I really think they would beat a Buffalo is if Buffalo is the number 1 seed in the AFC and everybody's rested. And even then, Buffalo's pretty deep. They're not stupid deep, but they're pretty deep. So yeah, it's going to be hard sledding for the Patriots, and their eyes are going to be open wide this season, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm always down to be proven wrong, though. I am always down for that. That means we got good football.
What's your storyline for this, AJ? Because you didn't get a chance to. Dylan just.
I kind of talked about it. I think Mac Jones is going to have a good year. I think, and what I mean by that is, and temper the expectations, similar to like what Deshaun Watson did with the Texans when they were 4-12. Had a great season. I do not think Mac Jones put up 5,000 yards. I'm just thinking about a quarterback that played well, and the team did him no favors. I think that he may look good behind. I think he may look good behind the offensive line. I think he may make a lot of good decisions. I think he may have a pretty decent completion rating. I don't think his defense will help him, and I don't think his playmakers will get the job done when they need to. I know like using Deshaun Watson in the Texans was tough, but
I get what you're
somebody off my head.
I get what you're saying here, though, and I think to me it's Mac Jones is not going to have miserable stats. That's not what the Patriots do. That's not what the Patriots are going to put him in a situation to do. He's going to have, laugh at this. He's going to have Baker Mayfield type numbers where it's just average. It's not great. It's not good. It's not bad. but it's not going to win you games. It's not going to let you compete with what everybody else has in this AFC and what everybody else has in this AFC East, where Zach Wilson might be taking a step in the right direction this season with all the weapons that they've added. Dylan, that is a team, and we'll get to the New York Jets in a little bit, but that's a team that added and moved the needle forward with weapons, okay? Not just adding Devontae Parker to a Kendrick Bourne and a Jacoby Myers and a Jonnu Smith and a Hunter Henry. All respect to Hunter Henry. He was pretty good in fantasy with all of his touchdowns, but other than that, let's be real here. Let's be real.
What about Aguilar?
Be honest with yourself. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Nelson Aguilar. But before we move on to the Miami Dolphins, I want to let everyone know in the chat and everyone watching at home right now on YouTube, if you're a Patriots fan, comment on this video. Let us know what you guys think of the Patriots this season and defend your Patriots in a logical way. We want to see those comments. Logical. Aaron loves arguing with fans and talking about real life statistics and numbers and facts about where teams are going and what's actually happening. So if you don't like what we're saying about the Patriots, defend yourself. Not just with the, Belichek hasn't steered us wrong yet. Other than that, give us some real reason on why the Patriots are going to be better than 7-10.